3 stages in a woman's life when her need for a man becomes strongest. The harsh truth, fully explained. There are 3 very specific periods in a woman's life where her desire for a relationship intensifies. This doesn't happen randomly. It's not just emotional. It's psychological. It's biological. And if you're a man who doesn't recognize these phases, you'll keep misunderstanding women over and over again. Most men assume that women want relationships in the same way throughout their entire lives. That assumption is completely wrong. Scientific research shows something very different. Developmental psychologists from the University of Chicago, who analyzed female relationship motivation across different age groups, uncovered something rarely talked about openly. A woman's desire for partnership doesn't remain constant. It rises sharply during 3 distinct and predictable periods. And what she seeks in each of those periods is not the same at all. What they discovered surprised even the researchers themselves. Let's start with the first phase, ages 18 to 22. This is the exploration stage. During this time, her prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for long-term planning and decision-making, is still maturing. Because of that, she is heavily focused on the present moment. She craves experiences, romance, and emotional intensity. She's not thinking about where she'll be in 5 years. She's thinking about what feels exciting right now. At this stage, she's not selecting a lifelong partner. She's gathering experiences. And the type of man she's attracted to reflects that mindset. Someone who brings energy, thrill, and a sense of aliveness into the present moment. But here's where things take a turn. The second phase happens between ages 25 and 30. This is where everything begins to shift. Her environment starts changing. Friends are getting married. People around her are starting families. At the same time, what many call the biological clock, something neuroscientists confirm is real, not just a social myth, begins to create a subtle but persistent sense of urgency. Researchers at Columbia University, studying female bonding patterns, found that during this stage, women don't just look for connection anymore. They begin, often unconsciously, to assess men differently. Now it's about long-term potential, stability, character, future security. The same woman who was chasing excitement at 21 is now analyzing reliability at 28. So if you've ever experienced a woman suddenly raising her standards or shifting her expectations, this is not random. There is a reason behind it. Now comes the third phase, ages 38 to 45. This is the most misunderstood stage of all. By this point, she has lived through enough to gain clarity. She has built something of her own. She may have experienced love, heartbreak, or both. And now she reaches what many women describe as one of the most defining moments of their lives. Her priorities change again. She no longer seeks to be impressed. She seeks to feel secure, not in terms of money, but emotionally. She values consistency, presence, authenticity. Psychologists refer to this as the authenticity shift. At this point, surface-level attraction loses most of its influence, and depth becomes the only thing that truly matters. Now here's the truth every man needs to understand. If you encounter a woman in any of these stages and fail to recognize what she genuinely needs during that time, you will take her behavior personally. You'll think she's difficult. You'll think she's inconsistent. But she's not. She's simply responding to a phase of life that you were never taught to understand. And here's the harsh reality. A woman who seems deeply connected to you in one phase may naturally move away from that connection in another, not because you did something wrong, but because her needs evolved. The men who avoid confusion and disappointment are the ones who understand this pattern. They don't rely on timing alone. They build connections based on true alignment. Because the real question was never, what does she want? The real question has always been, where is she in her life right now? And if this idea just shifted your perspective, then the next video dives even deeper, revealing the subtle signals women give during each of these phases that most men completely overlook. That insight might change everything for you.